Imagine scrolling TikTok and seeing a 25-year-old billionaire drop out living the yacht champagne sunset dream. You think, why am I in class when I could be them? But wait, that shiny story hides a sneaky trap. It's called survivorship bias, and spotting it might require a cemetery visit, not for spooky reasons. Stay with me on this. What's survivorship bias? Survivorship bias is our habit of focusing on the winners who made it through a tough situation, while ignoring the invisible losers who didn't. It's like only listening to the roar of the crowd for the champion and forgetting the thousands who never made it to the arena. My favorite example, World War II planes. During the war, the military noticed bullet holes in planes that returned from battle. Their solution, reinforce the areas with the most damage. Seems logical, right? Wrong. A statistician named Abraham Wald pointed out the flaw. They were only looking at the planes that survived. The real problem was the bullet holes not on the returning planes, because the planes hit in those areas, like the engine, never made it back. The cemetery of lost planes held the real lesson. This example is survivorship bias in action, and while Wald's revelation saved lives during the war, the concept still eludes us today. We see it everywhere without realizing it. Take business, for instance. Sure, you hear about people like Elon Musk or Oprah, leaders who defy odds and achieve brilliance. But do we ever hear about the thousands of entrepreneurs who tried the same strategies and crashed? Have you, for example, studied pets.com? No? Exactly. Or let's talk about health. There's always that 100-year-old chain smoker who claims their longevity is proof smoking isn't harmful. But the millions who never made it past 50, they're not around to debate them. And social media. Scroll through your feed and you'll see influencers living their best lives, posing on beaches, sipping coffee in trendy cafes, but you aren't seeing the 99% of people who tried to go viral and fell flat. Survivorship bias tricks us into thinking success comes easily, even predictably, just because we only see the success stories. Here's why that's dangerous. As humans, we copy what winners say they did. But if that advice only worked for a small percentage, all we're really doing is setting ourselves up to join the graveyard of people who tried and flopped. So how do we break free? How do we stop falling for the highlight reel and start seeing the full movie, bloopers included? The answer is shockingly simple. Visit the cemetery. Don't just look at the winners, study the failures. You want the full picture, and that means stepping outside the spotlight and into the shadows. Take business again. Instead of just reading books about how Apple became a tech empire, research why other companies failed. Why did Pets.com collapse during the dot-com bubble? What mistakes can you avoid after seeing their downfall? Dream of being a musician? Cool, but before you max out your credit card on recording gear, go talk to the baristas with music degrees. Listen to their stories about paying student loan bills instead of playing sold-out gigs. Their experiences matter just as much. Staring failure in the face teaches you something success doesn't. It shows you the pitfalls, the landmines, the reality behind the dream. Survivorship bias is like wearing blinders. It shines a spotlight on success, but leaves you clueless about the graveyard of failure lurking just outside your view. Here's the good news. Once you start looking at failures, even metaphorical cemeteries, it's not depressing, it's empowering. Every tombstone, every crashed plane, every ruined startup teaches you not what to do, but what not to do. It reduces your risk. It sharpens your focus. It reminds you success isn't guaranteed, but with enough awareness and preparation, you can give yourself a fighting chance. So what's the takeaway here? Next time you're tempted by a glittering success story, pump the brakes. Whether it's the YouTuber with their mansion or the tech mogul who started from nothing, ask yourself, what am I not seeing? Look for those failures, those quiet lessons hiding in the shadows. Study the ghosts of bad decisions, overconfidence, and luck gone sour. Because the best way to escape survivorship bias is to walk through the cemetery and see the full story.